All right. You are live. View on YouTube. My first time using the StreamYard thing. I tried using the OBS software. That also has a lot of really cool streaming features. And I was pretty surprised that a lot of people connected to it so quickly. So we shall see how this one goes today. Been talking about trying to start my own little series of channels just to talk about things. And as a caveat, for those that may hear this later, non-live, I'm not going to tolerate, hatred. I'm not going to tolerate the intolerance from religious fanatics on either side, as Einstein would put it, theists or atheists. I do want to facilitate calm, rational, just civilized conversations about any topic. I prefer science, technology topics from a Christian perspective, ideally. But again, I'm open and interested in all ideas. And hey, Christian peasant, I saw you earlier today when I was experimenting with this these broadcasts. If you want to come talk, let me know. I'm still, again, bear with me. I'm still trying to figure out how a lot of these things work. Banners, brand, private chat. Is that private chat? There we go. So yeah, if you want to key up, we're glad to have a conversation. Again, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to avoid falling into the trap of endlessly trying to defend myself and others against Smokey's hatred and all they're gossiping. People tell me that they're, lying about me and trying to dox me and all kinds of stuff on his channel, and they'll link me to it and I'll go over there, and it's just frustrating as heck. They don't care. They don't want to actually have a conversation. So I figure while they're broadcasting, I'll start one up too to see if I can find, those that really want to have a genuine conversation without all the name calling, without all the just abuse. So, but yeah, like I was saying, I'm open to basically any conversation, any topic. I prefer science, technology stuff. It's been my profession. A lot of other Christian YouTube streamers, they like to focus on biology, biometrics, genomics, those kind of things, which is great. It's fascinating. I am not a biochemist, though. I'm more what I describe as the hard sciences, quantum physics, rocket science, information science, things that we deal with in real time, things that we don't have to rely on things that we hope happened in the past, so to say, like evolution is required to do. So rewiring your mic. So I'm a telecom expert. I've been doing stuff with microphones and video cameras and all kinds of things for decades. So rewiring a mic, that instantly brings together the memories of LTR and all kinds of real fancy, professional mic stuff. But if there's something I can help do or suggest or whatever, let me get on the live chat or anything. And so I'm sure you're not doing like VLR type stuff or anything necessarily. But yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of a good topic just to kind of start with to share while I'm waiting for somebody else that wants to join in. But lots of interesting. Link for what? Oh, for this. That's right. Duh. I guess people need the StreamYard. See, I'm such a noob. How's that? And I saw John had the awesome idea of how you can apparently. There you go. No, there's a way to put a permanent link on it. I don't know if you have to buy the premium version of StreamYard, which I very well may do. So again, bear with me while I'm learning this stuff. Hey, look, there's an invite button. Invite guest to your StreamYard. Copy to keep instruction for a guest. You know, up to 6 people. Upgrade if you need more. Learning. This is fun. All kinds of buttons here. Invite a guest. Alrighty. Let's do this. All right, now. Probably doesn't help to show that because you can't link on it. I don't see. Let's see, banners. Create a banner. Scroll across bottom ticker, add banner. Let's do it. No. That's makes it a nice big thing, but that's not what I wanted. Brand. Stream settings. Camera audio, green screen. It's not easy to play with these settings without going live. So I apologize. You guys can be patient with me while I try to.
What's this?
This is the learning curve here while I'm streaming here. Welcome. Is it Muso?
Muso.
Muso. How you doing, sir?
Actually, Muso is short for multimedia artist, let's say.
Oh, nice. So then
I got an echo. Is that you? Or is that me?
I don't know. I am completely in a learning curve process here. So
got it. I got it. There it was. It was me.
Yeah. So no, it's pretty common to if you have a YouTube link open at the same time with StreamYard, it'll cause it echo.
I have a separate sound system from the computer. I got it all set up for recording. So every time I do this, I have to kind of rewire everything.
Understood. Yeah. So are you just literally just having to switch hard audio inputs?
Yeah. Like if I was to, like, I don't have any camera. I'm hooked up to a Crystal TV. You know, those new Crystal intelligent TVs. Well, I'm hooked up to one of those, and my sound system is completely different, and it's hooked up to a homemade computer. I make them myself.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Well, I used to. I don't do it anymore. I'm retired now.
Yeah. I'm gonna offer the idea. So there's all kinds of KVM type switches out there. You can put all kinds of peripheral devices, not just mouse and keyboard, but audio inputs and video inputs, and just kind of change stuff over.
My last name in my icon is for real.
Okay. Well, hey, all of us start from, not.
Well, I have sophisticated computers. I have a little network here, but it's just that I'm not one of these people that updates equipment if it's not broken.
Yeah. No, that's actually, common engineering practices. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
yeah.
No, I'm just saying there's you might want to look into basically it's like a hardware switch where you just, at a touch of a button or a click of a mouse.
Yeah, I know what a KVM switch is. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Last 25 years of my career was spent at Department of National Defense setting up networks.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he knows.
So my wife, Kelly, by the way, Mrs. Joel, as she's become popularly known.
Hello.
Yeah, you just call me BJ.
BJ.
All right, BJ. Good to meet you, honey.
Cool. So, Natch, go ahead.
I was watching your stream with Otangelo and Joel. You, Joel. Sorry. What's the other guy's name that was there?
Either Nicholas or
it was just recently, and then he had to close it off because he was falling asleep.
The 15-year-old. I don't know what his real name is.
Is he Canadian?
I don't know. I have not chance to.
Accent. He sure sounds like French Canadian. I'm Canadian. So.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, national defense. That's a broad spectrum.
Yeah, I was a civilian. I could never make it in because of physical things, but always worked civilian. Like, I'm kind of a factotum of all the trades, actually.
Yeah. Well, in my military career, that means you got paid 4 times as much doing the same things.
Well, all the military were above me, and I really, really enjoyed working with them because coming from the private sector, there was much less chaos. In the military, they know what they have to do, and they do it.
Yeah.
And they're very nice about it. And that was a real like breath of fresh air for an old guy like me.
Nice. All right.
I have a lot of respect for the military. A lot of respect.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's been part of my struggle with trying to, enjoy some of these other Christian YouTube channels, is that there's a lot of lack of respect. But, and it's not that we need respect. It's just, come on, you don't need to attack the whole friggin' military because there's a couple of people on YouTube you don't like,
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to negative.
I said, we all know where that's coming from, really, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
no.
I agree with what Ortangelo. Ortangelo said on how to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Just kind of walk away.
No, I think if everybody just kind of turns their back, still be there. But I mean, just turn your back and let them fall.
Okay. And I think that's precisely. Sorry.
That's just what I would think. I'm not telling you what to do.
No, I agree too, and I think that's precisely what I'm trying to do right now today. Normally, I'll because again, I have been trying to just knock the dust off my feet, the dirt off my feet, and walk away from these guys so often. And then other people that I've considered, my friends here, they'll tell me, hey, look, he's at it again, and they'll link it to me, and I reluctantly click on it, and it's just because I've got that natural self-defensive instinct to want to protect other people, and so and it's a trap. They want to antagonize people like me into joining their sin is what it really is, and I just need to avoid it. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm just going to try to just turn my back, as you put it, and start a more positive live stream, an alternative.
Yeah, like get together with the people that you can connect with. People that aren't so pedantic about scripture. Let's say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, my joy, I don't need people to agree with me. In fact, something I love about my wife, I call her my quote smith. And she showed me Robert Heinlein's quote. He's a science fiction author, where he said, I'll never agree with a man I never learn from a man who agrees with me. So I welcome, dissent. I welcome disagreement, and people pick on me because I claim to be a scientist, engineer, and all this stuff. But in science, that's how we operate. We need disagreement. We need people to challenge our biases. Which is, of course,
how's that? What is it? Tom Cochrane said, "Life's a highway. You don't want to take an off turn and stay there. You want to just keep going down that highway. Learn as much as you can. Take what rings true with you and carry on. And as long as your destination is Christ, my God, what other destination do you need? What other proof do you need? That's where I want to go." I put it in one of the comments in one of these streams. I'd jump over 100 of you theologians just to get to Christ. I don't care what you say. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I say the same thing. They always tell me, well, you're this modalist and oneness and all these weird doctrines. I don't care. I don't believe any of that. I just believe exactly what Jesus says. That's
Exactly.
Narrow is the road.
Yeah, I don't need to see beyond him. All this Trinitarian talk and, like I say, being pedantic about scriptures and arguing over it. I have no idea what that's about. I'm total non-sectarian. I when they get into that, I can't follow it even.
I love that word, non-sectarian. I'm going to steal that from you, sir.
Well, it's not mine, so go ahead.
Well, still, yeah, no, I'm the same way. I've said it. I don't know how many times repeatedly ad nauseum. I'm a scientist. I love to do things about science. I love to share the scientific evidence for God. I'm not a theologian. I'm not.
Oh.
I mean,
no, I'm the same way. I love Neff's channel. I love John's channel and SFT and their science, but I don't learn that stuff to debate. I learn that stuff to get me closer to God. This is more proof that my highway's pointing in the right direction.
Amen. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah,
You know,
no,
all-
and so you've heard Nicholas and they love to try to tear me down about quoting Einstein and Spinoza. And that's exactly what Einstein said. He said, I don't care about this or that spectrum of this element or this
Yes.
phenomenon. He says, all I want to know is I want to know how God created this world. I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are details. You instantly reminded me of that.
the way I see it, all of our destination is to come before Christ.
Yes, sir.
And like somebody said, how much love you gave is the measure of his yardstick.
Amen. Yeah, yes,
Because
sir.
I'm one of these people. Maybe I'm kind of ASD, so please forgive me. Come at things kind of weird, but
What is ASD? I'm sorry.
I'm autistic.
Oh, that means you're just more intelligent than other people.
That's why I don't like to talk very much, because I get confused when I talk. I'm better at writing.
Okay.
It's a verbal thing with autism. But anyways, I do my best.
Sure. And no worries. We've got 2 autistic children, one with borderline Asperger's. Okay.
I got 2 autistic boys.
Yep. And it just means that they're more, I don't want to say they're more
let
intelligent.
me tell you something, and and anybody who's listening in the world is listening, I've learned more from my 2 autistic sons than I could ever have taught them.
Absolutely. I love that. Yep.
And anybody who well, there's witnesses. Anybody who ever called my children retarded ended up on the ground.
Uh-oh. Yep, I hear that.
If they were in front of my face. And that was including my brother as well.
Yeah, my son.
I won't tolerate it. That's not retarded.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually. Hey, hold on, my wife's distracting me. The Oscar Mayer.
The wiener truck is here in Waco.
The wiener truck.
The Oscar Mayer wiener truck. Yeah. Damn. Wiener mobile.
1 second. Hold on.
We started.
Yep. All right.
What was it getting at was suffering. If you look at it at a psychological level, you would say that sin is the result of suffering, right?
Right.
So John says that God doesn't just love, he is love. So as love, what do you think God concerns him most with, the suffering or the sin?
I think that the Lord is trying to help us to stop sinning so we don't suffer, if that helps answer.
So he would be more concerned with the suffering then.
I don't know that there's a
big difference. Big difference. You sin because you're suffering.
Okay.
And God is love. And what is love? It's total understanding, right? So what does he look at? Your suffering or your sin? He warns us against sin all the time throughout the Bible. But what is he looking at?
He took on extreme suffering for us. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing else I want to add to that. His suffering on the cross isn't ended. You and I, when we get sinful, mad, curse at each other like we were talking about, we're causing him pain on that cross right now.
Agreed.
So that's why we try to be meek and mild when we get the Holy Spirit. We don't want to cause him any more suffering.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, that reminds me how I often like to try to explain to unbelievers that God doesn't want to send you to hell. God paid the price for everybody so that you don't go to hell, and that people that must still hate God despite all that he's done for us, it's because they whatever sin, whatever secrets in their lives that they need to maintain and deny God for, all that does is continue to break his heart, cause him suffering. It breaks God's heart that people will choose for themselves to go to hell instead of go to him.
Yeah.
It's not his choice, it's theirs.
I think he only looks at our suffering. He warns us, your sin is going to condemn you. Like, for instance, let me give you a elementary example. If you were into porn and you can't stop, and it grows, and it doesn't just affect your sexual life, it affects all of your life, the way you look at women, the way you look at men, the way you look at everything. It becomes an obsession, right?
Right.
That is a result of you sinning. I'm sorry, suffering. Getting my
Right.
words backwards here. That's a result of you suffering. So it's, I don't know how, if I'm explaining it properly. It's almost like God knows that the outcome of your suffering is going to be this sin. And he's saying, this is the way to stop it. Look to me. Look to me.
There's
Always.
another way of putting it, perhaps, that there's something that people have that's they think is missing in their lives, and so they're trying to fill it with.
Absolutely.
Okay, they're trying to fill it with the sin.
Absolutely. That's included in there. That's kind of all
Mm-hmm.
around. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
God wants to fill those things that are empty or missing in our lives with Him and with things that He has for us, His plans for us.
So when He sees us sinning, doing bad things, He's seeing us suffering. You know what I mean? Like I can't from what is it? 1 Corinthians 13, Paul's definition of love.
Mm-hmm.
If that's God, I can't see God looking at sin. I can only see Him looking at suffering. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I think it does. Yeah, no, it's a deeper concept, so it's requiring some extra thought, but it is making sense.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking just yesterday, for example, I was having to. We're trying to move at the end of this month, and my boss. I just started a new job. My boss let me give me some extra time for lunch, and to go look at a couple of houses. And I get back, and it's a part of town where it's just it's the heart of the city, and traffic is just insane, and it's full of restaurants where our offices are, and the parking lots nearby were just gone. I was like, okay, I learned this is a mistake. I'm not going to leave again too far to go to after lunch. But anyway, so I'm driving literally 15-20 minutes across 4 different parking lot areas, just looking for a spot, looking for, I see people pulling out and then somebody else jump in, and, see people waiting, and I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be late for my next meeting. I can't find it. I was on the phone with my wife, she was trying to keep me calm down and not to sin, like you're talking about, and get all right. And I'm literally praying to the Lord, why are you I asked him, why are you letting me suffer? Why are you? And I can almost kind of just sense he's just kind of looking down at me, just like, oh, Joel, you're so silly. But, and
I think that's exactly what he's doing.
And I finally calmed down. I just reserved the fact that if I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late. If they're going to believe me that I couldn't find a parking spot, maybe because they've been there for over 30 years, that I'm sure if anybody knows about the traffic in the area, they will. But just as I finally, stop allowing myself to suffer, essentially, there's a parking spot. No one pulling out, no one, it's not obvious. It's just open. It's like, where the heck did that come from?
Exact same thing happens to me when I was working, and I'd be late, and some slow driver would be in front of me, and there's no way to pass because of the traffic, and I'd be going, oh, if I yell and scream, I'm just going to make myself sweat in the car. So I just calm down, said a prayer, calm myself down, ask for the Holy Spirit, and calm myself down. And the next thing you know, that guy just pulls out of my lane, and I just go right ahead.
There you go.
The Lord is in control. Happened to me at least 4 times I can remember.
That is awesome. Yeah, people, they like to, especially like at new hires or whatever, work events, they'll ask you to share things about you, like, what's your pet peeve? My answer is always slow drivers.
Yeah, because if you're like me, I like to drive to get to a destination.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that reminds me, I don't know if I've shared, I got a lot of really wonderful stories of my grandfather who worked at NASA forever. He passed away, and one of my fondest memories of him when I was a kid, we're driving somewhere, and he's all quiet and just calm, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just says something like, he says something about, dang analog drivers. This is like in the 80s or 90s or something. And at first I didn't understand what the heck he's talking about, but now that I'm driving, I totally understand what he's talking about. So because he just wants to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible without breaking any laws.
Yeah.
And a lot of people seem to not be able to do that. So
well, you gotta give them some leeway because of the stress. I mean, I'm 64 and I've been working for 46 years, and I had 4 careers, and that's a lot of stress, especially the last one. I was in IT. I went from electronics into IT,
Oh, cool.
and I had to keep up from 92 till just last year when I just gave up. I had to learn to keep up with all the technology from 92 to just last year.
Okay, that's a little bit.
So I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually a burnout. I'm what they call in the medical profession a burnout.
Okay, I don't think I've heard that term before.
Oh, you haven't?
Say it again.
Burnout.
Burn out. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
burn out.
See, it's that Canadian accent, you know.
Yeah, I got to say A after everything too. Jeez,
Right?
just to keep up with the cliche.
A burnout, huh? So when I hear burnout, that means that somebody was overstressed and just worked too hard.
Yeah, and it also can go to complete nervous breakdown, hospitalization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think I can relate because I was getting close to that. I've shared my story how, I was working at SpaceX. I was the, the top telecom guy then. I was like third down on the rung from Elon, and I loved it. But we're working 14, 16 something hours every day, 5-7 days a week, and they say time flies when you're having fun. So we were obviously having fun, but I ran into some roadblocks, guys, some struggles with some of the AI stuff we were doing, and some bottlenecking with some of the information test flows we were doing. So and none of us could really figure it out. Elon, he's getting crazy enough. He's trying to actually literally, plug our brains into the computers. If you've heard about that. So I figured, I'll try a little slightly less invasive thing. And so I went back to school. I was like, okay, let's, get my information science master's. At least, if anything, I can try to find out some sort of new concept, whatever. But more importantly, I was going to build my network, try to find more information scientists to work on this problem. Well, and I was going to just take one class at a time, try not to burn myself out. But hell no. I describe it. I was burning both my candle at both ends, and in the middle.
Burn the candle both ends. Yeah.
And in the middle.
Many times. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I had to decide. In both my schoolwork, I did it for about 6 months or so, and then about almost a year, I think, actually. And I had to decide: do I want to, stay? I had to decide between working at SpaceX or finishing this degree, and so I decided to finish the degree. And I kept thinking I might go back to SpaceX, but I don't know. It's the work, they call it the work-life balance.
Yeah.
Probably the worst anywhere.
Yeah, I can remember actually sleeping at work on top of a textbook, trying to keep up. Just falling asleep, and then somebody waking me up at 9 o'clock, the cleaner.
Yeah.
And just trying to keep up with. And I was when I got in there, I was in my 40s, so I had to keep up with a lot of young bucks who had grown up with that.
Hear you.
So it's really hard for an old guy like me.
Well, see, I've never really experienced that well, because I've seen guys older than myself as well. I'm 46, and I've seen guys our age pick things up faster than the young people.
Oh yeah. Sorry, we don't have as many distractions at our age.
Well, we've got experience.
Yeah, but I found out when I would go to courses with these guys that were like 30 years younger than me, I would get the concepts, and they would be rattling at the questions at the teacher, and I would actually be turning around trying to help the teacher explain it because I wasn't distracted by anything. You know what I mean? I was listening to the teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because you had enough, just prior experience, real world experience. You knew how to put, 2 and 2 together. You could connect the dots a little better and more intuitive.
A little more focused, maybe.
Well, and probably more interested. And no offense to the young people, but they don't have the knowledge base. They have, and they can, of course, and they're doing what those of us the I don't want to say older generation, but the older generation, they're doing what we had to do when we started. We had to, the learning curve is a process.
Oh yeah, and it never stops either. Never stops.
Yeah.
I mean,
So this company I'm with now, they've got this national product that they've been working on well over 20 years, and they're sharing with all the stories about how, they don't think anybody works there anymore that really knows it all. So they're trying to teach me, all the little ins and outs of what sections, that they're working on. And I finished my first week, and I finally just now at the end of this week, they finally gave me the hint of where they might plug me in to start working on. and it's just it's this huge, gigantic, technological beast,
Yeah.
and it's going to be, these guys have been doing it themselves, 10, 15, 20 years, and they're talking to me like, I mean, that they're it's not they're expecting me to know it all, but it's like I can tell they're encouraged that I'm going to pick it up, quickly, and they're showing me the ropes, so to say, the in-depth concepts and things, and they're having fun with it. It's like it's reminding them.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I'm already like a key member of the team, so to say, and just, I don't know. Even though I still have,
very fulfilling.
well, I love it, and that's
that's
the norm. That's what I'm saying. When I hear people like yourself talk about, well, I'm older, I don't pick things up as quickly, and it's like, no, you can't. We do.
It depends, like you say. Sorry, my interests don't lie. I was like I say, a factotum of the trades, but that's not how I define myself. I wasn't lucky enough to have to love my job. It was always a job that I got, and I was really grateful I got it, and I really tried hard to work at it. But my whole passion and in life has been singing, songwriting, and writing and stuff like that. That's why I call myself a muso, because I work in all of the medias.
Wonderful.
So that's kind of where my heart has always been at, but I've always, had to make a living, So I got jobs and I did well at them, but I think that's why I ended up burned out, because, it wasn't something that I got up in the morning and said, oh, I can't wait, It was at times when I was younger, I get into a new job, I would be, wow, but it would wear off.
Yeah, I hear you. So would you say that you're doing what you enjoy to do now?
Yeah, I write music. I write music for people, and I like to write. I do a lot of editing. When I was in T&D, when they say, okay, we'll put him out to pasture, he's burnt out, he doesn't even remember what his name is. I started doing a lot of technical editing and writing, because I have a lot of experience in that, in education, in editing and writing. I was a big English major, but that's what they put me on, because I could do that very easily. It was kind of what I love to do. So the days would go by faster. But it was just a lot of editing and rewriting things to update them.
Okay. Maybe send this to Angel real quick. Invite her in. Yeah. So I was going to ask. So the stuff that you're working on now, the technical, architecture behind the art that you're working on. You've obviously,
I know the software. I can pick up software like right away. I put 2 videos on my channel. I don't really have a channel. I just put stuff up there that I play with. But I learned. I downloaded DaVinci Resolve 16, and I learned it that day, and I put up those videos.
See, there you go.
So if I'm interested in something, bing, bing, bang, I don't care what I have to do. I'll get to the knowledge.
Yes, sir. See, that's exactly what we look for when we hire people in science. We don't care about your background. We don't care about your degree. All we care about is if you want to learn what's the next thing to do.
Yeah, point them at all the shiny objects, and the one that makes their eyes light up, send them.
No, exactly. What's that, Kelly? Redneck engineering. In fact, the chief advisory software engineer that I was talking to, the guy Mike, I was talking to all day yesterday. He in fact said that, I started asking questions about how we're jumping between C+ and old C, and he flat confessed, even though he's like the top software guy, and he knows his stuff. Yeah. He's like, well, you kind of apologize. He told me, because he describes himself as a redneck engineer. Perfect. I loved it. Yes, I so loved it. Yes, that's a whole nother story. But I was going to point out, though, do I call you Christian Peasant or Muso? What's your preference?
Just call me BJ.
BJ, that's right. You told me that. See, I'm losing it already. But anyways, so I think you're demonstrating how the Bible says that delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. And all of the things that you've done in your past that you're saying that you may not have necessarily enjoyed at the time, like all the IT stuff and the technical stuff, that gave you skills to do what you're wanting to do more easily today, it sounds like.
Well, my passion really, since they retired me this past April, was, and it still is to get closer to Christ.
Oh, amen. Yeah, that's the ultimate goal.
That's why I go to these. I learn from everybody. I disregard all the arguing, and I just keep learning and learning and learning and trying to get closer and closer and closer to him. Because the way I look at it, let's face the cross now before we have to face it later.
Amen.
Every day.
But that's the one thing I like to kind of point out, that even through our hardships, even through the things we do that we don't understand, or the suffering that we may endure, that kind of thing, I think that the Lord always uses it for our good.
Well, I hope so.
Well, just it. There's things. Yeah,
I always
job
try to
done.
encourage. I always try to encourage in the chat rooms. I use a lot of joking and stuff like that. People don't get it because I'm twisted, but I like to joke and try to encourage people. That's my passion now, and so I like to go in chats like this when people are talking nice to each other and friendly, and they don't care who they are or what they are. That to me is Christianity, and I want to be involved in that.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
have that up here. I'm a bush guy. So I'm kind of, I'm always looking for that kind of fellowship, So
wonderful. Yeah. So I've been threatening to kind of start my own channels like these, more often. I've been kind of under assault, but you would be so welcome to help encourage to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can stop those kind of people from coming onto your chats,
Right.
It's very easy. I think there's some clips up there. I've never used it myself, but I just listening to other people talk about it.
Yeah, well, they've certainly censored me on their channels when I tried to figure out how to make peace with them. So yeah, I'll find it. There's all kinds of cool little features here you don't get to see until you start your own broadcast. But
yeah, but you can. I mean, I love going to Neff's. Praises are a lot of fun. Praises
yes,
channels are a lot of fun. I just go where there's nice people.
Yes, sir.
At my age, I don't want to make any more enemies.
Well, there's an old saying about your enemies when you get older, but that's not what I can say it. But I agree. Yeah, Neff, I think I agree almost everything that he shares and talks about.
I haven't heard anything that he said that I didn't agree with.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he's enlightened me on a lot of stuff.
It's same. No, exactly. There's one thing that I think I might disagree with him about, but I don't care enough to bring it up,
Mm-hmm.
And then Praise and Gavin, they've been so gracious to me that they've been trying to encourage me through all the stuff that's been going on.
Gavin's a great guy.
Yes, sir.
I love teasing him in the chats. He's a fun guy. He's fun. He's fun.
Yep. Well,
he's got such a big heart. You can tell right from the start, eh?
I think almost all Kiwis are like that.
Yeah. Yeah, George is kind of like that too.
Exactly.
I like to hear him. He's fun.
Yep. I used to go to a church back in California. It was a home church. This gentleman, he was pastoring out of his home. He was from New Zealand, and it was just heart of gold. It was so fun.
Oh yeah, they got big hearts. Tough guys too. They're not babies.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I can second that as well. I've done several international military training, warfare sessions, whatever. I was stationed in South Korea. We had Australians, we had New Zealanders, we had people from all over the Southeast Asia theater training together. And
I said they're cute and feisty.
Very feisty. Yes, they don't quit. I love it. And they have fun. They'll make you laugh while they.
Oh yeah, they're always joking around. I love that kind of character. Somebody who just doesn't take anybody seriously, including themselves.
Do you need help?
Oh. Yeah, I had a good friend that I used to chat with. Yeah, I need more tablets. I dropped the whole thing open.
Okay, I'm gonna get her some tablets while you guys talk.
All right, sure.
Anyway, good friend who was born in Scotland, but raised in Australia. And oh my gosh, we had a 10-15 year long fight over whether they're biscuits or cookies, whether they're popsicles or ice blocks. And then he went so far as to, he did this often, go out and buy Tim Tams, take pictures of them and say, look what I got, and you can't have any. I'm like, oh. Yeah, they're wonderful. I love them.
Yeah. Can't get enough of those guys. I love their cheap alien movies. I'm just an addict of their cheap alien movies. They're funny as heck.
I bet. Oh my gosh. And they're quick-witted too, boy. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah.
Battle of wits with those guys, and they're fast. I love them. I love them. Yeah, it was really cute though because Pepperidge Farm started making Tim Tams here in America.
What's
And
that?
of course, the Tim Tams, they're Australian cookies. The Tim
Oh, okay.
Tams in Australia are made by a company called Arnott's. So anyway, I found the Pepperidge Farm ones, and it said cookies on the package. You know, I try to start some guff. You know, I'm like, look at the package. What does it say? He says, "Those aren't Tim Tams. They're made by some other company."
Oh, I never knew that they call. Well, I know that the British refer to everything as biscuits,
Yeah,
but I didn't know the Aussies did.
yeah. They call popsicles ice blocks, and they
Ice block.
call a hood like the hood of your car is a bonnet, the trunk is the boot.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. Yeah.
Kinds of them. Yeah, I used
Well,
to.
my heritage is Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and French Canadian. Talk about a volatile combination.
Nice. I'm Scottish and Irish and Swedish, so that's primarily what I'm comprised of.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I'm Scottish and then just regular Anglo-Saxon. I got German and supposedly I've got some sort of royal blood, both on the German and
Who
the
doesn't? Yeah.
British side. So supposedly someone told me once I can if I go to Canada and swear some sort of oath to the Queen, I can have the Esquire tag on the end of my name if I want or some silliness.
Well, yeah, it's still considered, I guess, on paper, a dominion of the United Kingdom, Canada.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. It's complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah.
So honesty, Angel. Yeah, we're extreme introverts as well. Mrs. Joel and I, we used to be
much more extroverted than I am.
we used to be very, very shy. So we totally relate with what you're talking about. And again, we've got 8 kids, and so we actually miss the loud child noises. Background.
Children always welcome.
Yes.
Oh, I've got one grandson who's just turned 4 recently, and then we've got 2 more grandbabies coming.
Yep. Both their daughters are pregnant now.
Yep.
A couple weeks, 2-3 weeks apart.
A couple months
Good
apart.
Lord.
Months. Okay. So hard to keep track of it now. But
What do you think of all this election commotion going on?
try not to.
Yeah, I kind of blame you.
Yeah, I think it's a big mess. It's exactly what our founding fathers warned us about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it wasn't, what's his name, Biden,
Hmm.
I wouldn't probably care. But that guy is an Alzheimer patient. You should not let that guy run anything.
Yeah.
Well, and he
I mean,
won't be running it. It'll be all the really bad guys that won't be able to get office because
Yeah.
too many of the American people wouldn't want them in office.
And they've admitted as much. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's normal. I love I don't love politics, but I love history, and that's how it's gone on often in the past. And I'm not going to say that Biden's Hitler necessarily, but that's exactly what happened in Germany. Was that the real socialist fascists there could never have gotten elected. All the Goerings and the whatever they got getting hurrying. Yeah, they would never have been able to get into office, and so they had to find somebody to put a face on their party. And so that's where they got Adolf Hitler. He could seem moderate to help get their party in, and then of course all heck broke loose. So that's what I fear could happen.
I mean, every tyrant that's tried has failed, right?
Maybe. That's a definite.
Well, let's look at the tyrants we have now. That guy in North Korea. You think he's a successful man?
According to some, might say that. I mean, they've been successfully.
He's a prison warden.
Yeah.
Everybody in that place wants to kill him, including his ministers.
Well, I think there's a mixed bag with that. But if the measure of success is to maintain your prison, then maybe he's successful. I don't know.
I guess that depends on your point of view. I am looking at it
Exactly.
from a Western civilization. Yes, you're true.
Yeah. Nope, I hear you. As a matter of fact, again, I was stationed over there for a year, and so those are some of the most precious people on the planet that I found out firsthand. And there's just it's a huge mixed bag. And I often watch YouTube videos even of North Korean defectors, and I love watching their reactions when they get into the West, and it's just so priceless.
That
But
guy that got shot like 7 times and he still made it.
The
last
I've
guy,
not heard that one.
Not heard that. It's on YouTube. Like you can see it. Like he runs with a car and they shoot out the tires and everything, and he gets out of the car and he keeps running, and they shoot him. He goes down, he gets up. Oh,
Wow.
It's on YouTube. I wouldn't
Does
watch
he
it
make it
again.
though?
Hey, he
Does he
made it.
make
Yeah, yeah, he made it. He's not. Yeah, he was in a hospital in South Korea. It was a couple of years ago, maybe. Just I'm chronologically challenged, so it's my wife would tell you it's last month. I think it was a couple of years ago.
That's okay. Yeah, we had a friend recently. We were sharing that we started to do the DoorDash whatever thing, you know, ordering food to the house. And my friend was like, "Welcome to the 20th century, Joel." And I was like, "Isn't it the 21st century?"
See, they haven't got their heads out of that atheistic century. Oh God, that was a horrible century. I think it's going to go down in history as the atheist century.
Yeah. Because certainly for the world wars, definitely.
110 million people in the 20th century alone were killed as a direct result of atheism.
Agreed. I call it the atheist wars. I used to call it the socialist wars. Now I just call it the atheist wars.
Yeah. It's horrible. And you know, like, I'm not as good in history as you are, but I mean, I can see, you know, the basic history that everybody knows about Russia and America and Canada and the rest of it. But this is, I see now what's going on now is absolutely, I don't know a way out except for Christ myself.
Absolutely.
I don't see how they're going to fix it.
Yes, sir. Of all the different peoples and different cultures and faiths that I've served with overseas, we all fought together, you know, united effort to try to just protect our loved ones, our family, our nations, you know, from what I would clearly just delineate down into basic atheism. It was that, you know, that
it was a loss of God that lost our way.
Well, and even those that don't necessarily believe that Christ is God, they still agree that it's the love of God, however they perceive God, that really surpasses all understanding and really unites us to want to just live in peace.
Yeah,
you know,
we unite in Christ. We unite in the Spirit of God.
Yes,
sir. He brings us together.
Right, and I've also often used that sentiment that, again, even non-Christians share to say, well, that's Christ's teaching. What you're saying is that is Christianity.
Yeah.
That's that solidarity. And Angel, I think that 3-year-olds and 13-year-olds, you've got probably both of the worst age groups. I think 13-year-olds, that's when they start to kind of distance and test their boundaries, and they got the terrible. It's a debate, I guess. Terrible 2s versus terrible 3 years.
No, 3s are much harder.
I've heard it called terrible 2s, but right. So she's got a 3-year-old and a 13-year-old.
Oh my God!
13-year-old a girl? Because if it is, good luck to you, darling.
Yep. I love my wife. She says that boys are easier when they're younger.
No, boys are harder.
Sorry, yeah, boys are hard. Girls are easier when they're younger because
yes.
they're quieter and boys.
More compliant,
right? And boys when they're younger, you got to try to keep them from killing themselves.
That's right.
But then it flips. So when girls grow up, do you have any children?
Oh, I have 2 boys. Yeah.
You have 2 boys?
Yeah, one is 21 and one is 18.
Very nice. You probably told me that earlier too, didn't you?
Yeah, they're autistic. ASD.
Right. Anyhow, yeah, you're welcome anytime, Angel. We welcome.
Come on in, Angel. I'm autistic and I'm here. Don't be scared.
There you go. I was trying to think of the word, Kelly. The crazy, chaotic family life background. Trying to think of a good word for it. Describe it. The chaos of raising children.
Oh no.
She's saying she's shy and she's concerned the kids fighting in the background might be a distraction, but that's what a mute button's for too. I was thinking.
Well, it doesn't for me anyway. I don't mind hearing kid noise. It's certainly better than bickering adult noise. So.
Yes, man. I love her. But yeah, no, you're working in you said national defense industry stuff. I've done that as well off and on, and I bet you and I probably have field days just talking about past experiences. And
well, I usually was really low to the ground. I was always putting hardware in and working with the grunts. So
which is the best type of civilian to work with.
Well, I like to work for a living. I don't like to order people around. So yeah, I actually my last position in the government was a supervisor. I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it. Yeah, I didn't like
Same.
it.
Yeah, they were trying to promote me, and I resisted it. I was like, no, I don't want to get off the bench. I like doing the work. I don't want to. I want to manage the technology. I don't want to manage people.
Yeah. Yeah, they took me off the floor, and then I sitting there twiddling my thumbs, doing reports, and that was when I started flaking out. I said, oh, I can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah, and even all my positions, even the ones where I was really kind of high up on the food chain, so to say, I was supposed to be a manager, but I always made sure that I let other people that wanted to be manager become manager. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, those people that want to be managers become those dick managers.
Yeah.
That's why they want to be managers.
That's right. Usually, it's the ones that don't seek power that you probably want in power.
Yes.
Exactly.
George Washington. Yes, sir.
The greatest leaders will not have anything to do with power.
Right. The best leaders are the ones that want to lead the least.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of mold them, because again, you're still higher up on the food chain. So if they do something wrong, they'll suck up to you, so to say, to stay in your good graces. So when they start to kind of go off the rail a little bit, like you're saying, so you kind of set them aside. Say, look, you need to not be like this, or we're going to find somebody else. And then that usually wises them up. So
yeah, I always wondered where the atheists get off saying that they have the intellectual high ground and the scientific evidence.
Oh, it's just, they're just pompous.
They have absolutely none. That's the irony of it.
Well, not only that, but that's what I've been trying to do off and on for years now, kind of as almost as a ministry, is to share that kind of behind the veil, so to say, of the scientific fields. It's the truth is the exact opposite. It's flipped. There are no atheists in science. I often say, and I know it's a huge, bold statement, and I think even Christians sometimes kind of have a second thought about that. But I try my best to really emphasize that sure, there's plenty of them in academia, but academia is not science.
That's right. Yeah, universities aren't the science field.
All right,
training grounds.
They may teach science or try to teach it in math and all kinds of stuff, but they're always 20 plus years behind what we actually are doing in the fields. And I try to give examples. I try to just help people kind of see again from a insider's perspective, so to say. And I don't know, I think it's a combination, obviously, that I'm obviously not very effective, but of course there's also the element where they need to believe,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They jumped off the highway and now they're just hanging on to the signpost.
Yeah. No, so even my little brief, I was only in the military about 6 years active duty, and I was always on the, what do you call it, bleeding edge of technology there too. But, I loved our civilian contractors. I was working with the Raytheon guys and the Martin Marietta guys, Lockheed, all those guys, the companies actually build this stuff, I'm having to integrate with them, and just loved it. Absolutely.
Well, I find that the people who really have the most knowledge and the most wisdom usually aren't verbose about it, or, they usually want to just keep learning,
Yes, that's it.
They're not really concerned with the accolades that they've won their PhDs or anything. They just want to keep going,
That's exactly it. And so, and I get hammered in these really not so loving channels about, oh, you're a scientist, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, yes, I've been a scientist, but I tell people repeatedly, never believe a thing I say. Always go check it out for yourself. Yeah. Go research it. Go do your own science. Don't believe anything just because me or anybody else said it.
That's what you say when any atheist tells you, well, prove it to me. No, go do your own damn research.
Well,
I'm not here for your entertainment. Go do your own research. I did it.
Right. And that's the thing that I try to, the research is already done. I say this often, every field of science, all of science, from Mendel's genetics to Planck's quantum physics, I often say, was started by a scientist presenting his scientific evidence for God.
Absolutely.
They published it. They detailed it.
Concur completely. Absolutely.
Yes. And regardless if you want to believe their evidence or not, and come to the same conclusions, they published it. So, and I keep challenging them, try to challenge them. They never do. I said, look, the evidence for God has already been published. Pick a field and we can look at their evidence. And then we can talk about what those scientists, submitted. Mm-hmm. But they not only do they not want to, but they're like, oh no, there is no evidence for God. I'm like, what?
And they say, well, we'll go and publish a paper. Yeah, as soon as you open the door and I can get in, I'll publish the paper.
That's just
it. I'll publish the paper and it'll get peer reviewed if you would listen and you would publish it.
And that's the thing. There's already tons of even quote unquote peer reviewed scientific evidence of God. Einstein, I love referring to him because he was just so right so often. He hated peer review. There's all kinds of stuff out there. How he would just get so upset at these universities and stuff that would try to publish his stuff even without his permission because everybody loved his stuff. He hated it.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
It wasn't him that said imagination is far greater than knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagination. Yeah. In fact, I've loved that quote. Hold on. You're gonna get me started. My Einstein quotes.
Well, I'm a big fan too.
Circling the world. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan too. I latched onto what's his name, Dr. Russell Murphy or Murphy Russell. I can't remember. And he's done a time dilation thing about the beginning of creation. Have you seen that?
I have not. It sounds awesome.
Oh, Russell Humphreys, I think, is Dr. Russell Humphrey. And it's an answer to, excuse me, the people that say, well, the stars are billions and billions of light years away, so the Earth must be, blah, blah, blah. They use that as a time, right?
Right.
But it's just distance. So when you were born, was Australia in the same place?
No. It moves in a three-dimensional.
No, when you were born on Earth, where you live now, was Australia where it is now?
Not in a four-dimensional, matrix. No, the Australia has moved in the X, Y, Z, and T location. Yeah.
Okay, but when you were born and Australia was where it was, did it have anything to do with your time?
With your time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you mean by your time?
Okay, I'm not making it. They're saying that because light is this, the stars are this far away. Pick a big number. Okay, that the Earth or the universe has to be at least that old. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that with everything moving around, they're not necessarily taking into.
I'm talking about the expansion of the universe.
Right.
Jeez.
By the way, real quick, I got the Einstein quote. He said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world."
Exactly. That's it. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, God, that's great.
That man knew how to inspire. But
if you look at Dr. Russell Humphreys' his work, he's on YouTube. Just type it in, and he's got this really good illustration that he does about time dilation and where the Earth went before the stars came out. It's really cool.
Okay. Yeah, no, there's tons of theories on that as well. I like to
Dr. Lyle as well. I think William Lyle or somebody Lyle, who's also attacking this distant light versus biblical time.
Well, see, and that's another thing about the true discussions in science is that the idea that light is even static to begin with, the speed of light, has never been believed. Nobody's ever believed that the speed of light is always whatever it is, 186,000 miles per second or whatever.
That is only excuse me, that's only measurable when we capture it.
Well, it's there. In fact, some of the guys I love to promote often, there's a retired NASA guy. He's not even 40 years old yet. What's his name, Kelly? Something wrong. The guy with the squirrel engineering. It's in my channels. Hold on. He talks about how him and the other engineer. And I apologize. I'm having a little bit of a brain fart of my own today, but they describe the problem. How all of the speed of light measurements are two ways, because if you have
yes, that's Dr. Lyle's theory. Yeah, I've read that where you can only measure it two ways.
Right. Well, see, that's 100 years old though. That's been a challenge going on since for the last century.
But photons have no mass, right?
Correct.
And they operate at the speed of light, do they not?
Depends on what the medium they're in. So
vacuum of space.
Well, even there's no such thing as a true vacuum in space, but yeah, I mean, the less resistance there are, the faster they'll go, but they can slow down and speed back up.
Well, the thing that confuses me is when I was learning this stuff 1,000 years ago, that when we were discussing this, it was light at the speed of light. Let's say photons at the speed of light. So we have something to refer to. There is no time and there is no distance.
Well, that reminds me more about the theoretical aspects behind the event horizon of a black hole, where time becomes infinite and light basically stops. But as far as photons traveling, we could measure that. So time and distance, I guess, still technically exists. If you want to look at this,
No,
the
it's just what's that? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. I'm really distracted over here too. At the same time, I apologize.
Yeah.
But our neighbors are moving out too because they're selling these houses we're in, and then she's having a garage sale just next door. My wife's she's told me about 5,000 times or so, I think, this morning, that she wants that china cabinet. And I keep telling her that she knows where the money machine is. Don't look at me like that. Oh no!
If you guys got to get going and doing something, don't let me keep you.
Yeah. Well, cut her a check. The checkbook's in the glove compartment. Okay. Well, and she said that they'll take that, whatever that weird phone app was too. Just do that. My goodness. Women, I love it.
Can't live with them. Can't short them.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to move. So that's my gripe.
That's hectic. Moving.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to do that again.
Neither do we, but
yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry. So yeah, no. So time and distance can exist at the speed of light. In fact, that's all that, what do you call it? Speed is just the amount something travels at a given time.
But if you're traveling at the speed of light, you have no time.
Well, again, you're still, so speed is a measurement of distance over time. So,
so you're saying you're already going at a distance at the speed of light?
Given a certain amount of time. What I would argue is that things like time, things like speed, even, or distance, all these things, those are immaterial. Time does not technically exist any more than quote unquote length exists. Length is a measurement. You measure how long something is, or how wide it is, or how far it goes. You measure how much time something takes. Time itself is what's the word? Not just immaterial. Well, yeah, actually, time. Einstein said that exactly, but the opposite of concrete, abstract. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. You thought you're getting old?
No, you're still in the midst of work and all that hubbub buzz. I'm relaxed now. I took the summer off, and it was just a bum.
Well, see, that's how I got into this YouTube stuff. I took a couple of months off. I started this. I'm working on what's called a big data analyst post-grad certificate, and just decided to do that for a little while. But now we need more money, so I gotta go back to work. But that's how I got into
it must be hard with this COVID. Is that really affecting your job, or?
Not so much. I mean, it's affecting my school more now because I don't need the certificate. So, in fact, Doki, she picks on me every time I see her now in chat, or he. I don't know if it's a he or she still, but for lack of clarity, she says she's always picking on me. Joel, you ignoring your schoolwork, while you're chatting with us? I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those comments.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. Well, I'm really sorry that happened to you, and and I made a comment on that video. I was actually in Praise's channel with you guys, I think, when you're having that stream when he did that last video on you guys. You were actually watching it while you were doing the stream. Do you remember?
With on Smokey's channel, you're saying, or
no,
streaming Praise?
It was on Praises, I think.
What was he streaming?
Guys were in. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't. I think it was just yesterday. It was you and Praise and somebody else, and I was listening in, and then you started. I think your wife came in and said Smokey's burning you on his stream.
Yes.
That wasn't me. I didn't.
Well, yeah, no, I don't
whatever.
think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's not a direct quote. But anyways, I went and I looked at that video that you guys were commenting on, and I couldn't get through it. And I thought it was so vile. And I just put a comment underneath it. The name of the video is "I Hate Those Who Hate Jesus" or something.
Yeah.
And I just said the only title this needs is "I Hate."
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that was it. That was it. I turned my back on him at that point, and I just walked away.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it. Yeah, it was really bumming me out because it's just a reminder, every effort that I've tried to make to get them to want to stop.
I was there in a lot of those streams when you were trying to do that. I was watching.
Yeah.
I wanted to come and tell you that I'm on your side.
I think
that he's not doing himself any favors. He's losing people left, right, and center. And the people that are subscribers are there like Jerry Springer's.
They like the drama, huh?
Yeah, that's the only subscribers I can see that would be attracted to that. Do you?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But I think I'll say, I think what grieves me the most about it is that, again, as I call myself, I like to describe the people that like to volunteer to risk their own lives, for perfect strangers. I call them the protected or protectors.
Yeah.
We protectors, we like to protect people, and it's not something easy to do in social media. And I mean, it's one thing, and the other thing that grieves me is that I can take the what I'll call it abuse. I don't mind that they slander me. Yeah. And Kelly, my wife, she denies it. It's really cute.
I'm a nerd.
She's a psych nerd, I call her. She's the psychology expert, and she goes into the clinical details of the textbook details of a lot of this stuff, and they've hammered her for it too. But I was trying to make a point that I'm starting to slowly forget. But that the armor God's given me is it's well fit, it's well formed. I've been through enough battles now that it fits perfectly. and so I can defend. They can't hurt my feeling, but I'm worried about the others out there, not only those that otherwise, just want to learn about Christianity, but the other people they attack. So I started on occasion to kind of go in there just to get them to attack me, just say whatever I can to get them to want to antagonize me more so that they won't go attack other people.
Yeah. And I think what Artangelo said was absolutely right on the money. Just turn your back on him. Unsubscribe. Don't, when he comes into your chat, knock him out like a fly.
And I did that over a month ago, and I've tried, and I've told everybody, I apologize to Smokey that if I made any kind of false assumption about him that first night with him, and he can't let it go. And I did, like you just said, I've been turning my back to it, trying to just wait for him to go away. I was hoping maybe if I even stopped participating in some of the channels for over a week or two and just was hoping it would calm down, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I took a week off once, and then I came back, and it was still all going on.
Exactly. They need to destroy me. So I don't know. Again,
I'm not going to do that.
I tried to antagonize them a little bit just to get them to have their joys, whatever, move on, get their powder flesh. But even that's not working. So I don't know what else to do.
No, you're poking the alligator.
Yep. Yeah. But hey, I was trying.
Yeah. No, the best thing they want attention. That's all they want. They're just crying for it like infants. Just turn away.
Yes, sir. Feeding the trolls, as they say. So that's another effort I guess I'm going to start trying to do on my free time with with my channel here is I'll open it up to you guys that want to talk about it, in peace, answer the questions, because I see people, what does Joel think? Does Joel really think that? And hey, Joel, you're a coward for not coming on to Smokey's channel. I've gone to Smokey's channel. I've gone on there. He will he'll cut my feed whenever I prove that he's the type who's accusing others of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's projection. I mean, he's a walking projectionist.
Totally. So I've tried all that. So here I am. If anybody wants to come talk and hear from the horse's mouth, as they put it, by all means, as long as we can stay at peace and love Christ in the end, as you say, as you put it, BJ.
Yeah, that's our only. It's very simple, isn't it? Like he just said, "Love one another as I have loved you, and love me back." That's what he's asking us. Love me back.
Yes. That is the entire gospel.
God, as a sinner, as a total sinner, I will never be able to love him back as the way he loves me, but I'm going to give it my best go before the lights go out.
That's right.
Welcome, Montangelo.
Hello, Angelo.
Yeah, hello, guys. I just finished to see the stream at Smokey's channel.
No, I'm sorry.
And okay, so I am now a demon-possessed person, but Nicholas loves me.
Nice. So he loves demon-possessed people. I'll be a crazy sounding person. I have had personal experiences with actually demon-possessed people. You're not.
The furthest thing from it. Yeah. I would say he's projecting.
That's right.
Well, whatever. I'm not taking I am not going to his level, so I'm not making any accusation whatsoever against Nicholas. What he said against me, that is between him and the Lord.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I'm gonna start these channels. I don't know how often I'll do them. I'm taking a little bit. You're welcome to take a shower, wash all that stuff off and have fun.
No, I think that I feel that I have done my job, and now it's upon them and the Lord. There is nothing else that I have to do further than what I have done.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And Angel, it would be a privilege to give you a wrench if I could figure out how. I'm trying to figure out these. Oh, that's on YouTube side, isn't it? I gotta go to my YouTube section. Oh gosh, am I right?
So, what is your channel, Joel? Can you put the link here?
Sir, stand by 1 second. Let me.
Did you guys see the stream?
I was there a little bit, and then, like we've kind of talked about, I need to stay away from that. Like you just said, I have done more than my due diligence to try to accommodate them, to try to defend myself, to try to try to warn them of their bad behaviors, and it's done. There's nothing else.
Yeah, no, I mean, what they have shown is that at each round, they are doubling down further and further.
Right.
And there is no acknowledging what I was saying, and they are not understanding what love is. That is their problem, and I mean, I've done whatever it was in my possibilities, and unfortunately, they are not getting it. And what else can we do? We are handing it over to the Lord now, and whatever the Lord decides will be. I mean,
Amen.
What else shall we do? I've tried my best, I've tried my best.
And I think you're correct, Otangelo. I think you're correct in your approach, and I think everybody should use you as an example, because that's the best way to handle it the way you're doing it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they are accusing me that I was doing the same that they were doing, in the sense of continuing to harass them, and after this stream, my job is just ending, and it's over, and I will turn page and continue my thing, which is science, which is investigating science and so forth. And they have heard my opinion on how I think that heretics should be dealt with. They disagree. They think that the way to go is the way they are handling it. Okay, that's up to them. I mean, Christ. It is even interesting, Joel, that today in the afternoon Smokey, he wrote me a reply and said that he is suspecting that I am mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
And I replied to him and I said, well, why did you not go that road and say that I am possessed by demons? I was, and hey, what happened in the stream in the afternoon? Nicholas accused me exactly of that. And then in the end, but we love you.
Yeah, it's patronizing. I know.
Yeah, patronizing.
I mean, wow! I've never thought that I would go through an experience like this. Really.
Yeah,
Well, I'll share. So again, Kelly, my wife, she's, again, she denies it. She's a psychology expert, and most of her training and all of this was started because she, her previous administrations, as she calls it, was full of abuse, full of mental illness with other people in her life, and her family and such. And so she did her due diligence to try to understand what the heck was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why she's become an expert in those fields. And I've talked to her about wanting to maybe have channels, whatever, to go into the details, of course, but she's more wise than I. And just like you're saying, Antingelo, she's wanting to ignore it and make it go away. But if you do want to know more about a lot of the science, there's a behavioral science behind all of this. We can talk about it privately sometime if you like.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. But
there's a time and a place, you know what I mean? You choose your
Exactly.
battles wisely and what have you. And there's some circumstances where you realize that this isn't going to get anywhere. They're completely digging in their heels. And that's where, the Bible applies to shake the dust from your feet and walk away and keep them in prayer. Pray for them because only God can turn their hearts now.
Pray for your enemies, Christ tells us.
Yeah, I have done that. I will continue doing it. But I mean, about a week ago, I really felt disturbed by what was going on at the channel, and I said, well, I want to give my input. And if they accept it or not, whatever, that's up to them. But I think I need to address this. And I've done it. And I'm in peace with myself. I don't think that I did expose myself too much. I think it was necessary. I think it was worth it. They have demonstrated who they are, and I have exposed them. So people which go to his channel, they know exactly what they will get, who these people are, and they make their decision if they think that is the kind of Christian behavior that should be. Okay, join, have fun, listen to that name calling and so forth, and hey, enjoy.
Right, and that's what I'm going to start doing as well. I'm thinking I'm going to join with you guys and just present and basically enforce a more peaceful, Christ-like channel of conversation that will not tolerate that. And if there's people out there, whether they claim to be Christian or not, that enjoy this trolling, bullying behavior, I'll call it, that go enjoy it. But
you should
be open.
You should. Mm-hmm.
People that have asked me, Joel, I'm called a coward and all kinds of names for not trying to address things with them and go to debates with them. I've done all that. I've gone on their channels. I've been abused by them live repeatedly. I've done all that.
Let them go if they're so keen on you going. Let them go.
Well, and I'm not gonna tolerate their abuse here. But if anybody out there who can be civilized, that wants to talk about the other side of the shoe, so to say, they're welcome to come in here. I'll talk about my beliefs. I'll ask any question or answer any question to help clarify anything in anybody else's heart. But please leave that, whatever you want to call it, that other side of things with them. That's where you can, if people need to be entertained by attacking other people nefariously and unjustly, go enjoy that. I don't want to see that anymore. I'm only going to go to channels like yours, Antingelo, which tries to always pursue peace as the Lord tells us.
Amen.
Yeah. That's it, Joel. But I was before that stream, I was thinking that I would continue to point out how I see things at that channel. But there were several streams where I was named there, and people have actually even today seen what my position is. and that's enough. I don't see why I should double down further on my position. It has been clarified very clearly. So if people understand what I said, fine. If people don't understand it, that's up to them and with the Lord. And chapter finished.
Yes, sir. That is essentially, if not exactly what I was just saying. It's reminding me of Paul, 1 Peter 3:15. Always be ready to give a reason for what you believe. And so I'll be willing and excited even to clarify things and to try to end the confusion. And if people want to think that I'm a heretic or whatever, I love the correction. I am a Christian. I need the correction of my brothers and sisters. As I said on I think it was Neff's channel last night, that I totally agree with Solomon that in the council of the multitude you'll hear from the Lord. That's what I crave. And by the way, we were kind of singing Neff's praises earlier today. Here, I think he gave an excellent example, because Smokey started to call him a heretic and denounce him as a Christian and all these wonderful things. Nephilim didn't address Smokey directly. Nephilim just took Smokey's slander from his from Smokey's channel and just addressed the issues one by one. And I thought about doing that, but I think Neff showed a really good example of if we are going to defend ourselves and give the reasons for what we believe as Christ tells us to, then that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I will apply Titus 3:10 to myself, that instruction, and that is this week was dedicated to this situation. Mm-hmm. And they've not listening, so bye.
Yep.
That's it. They've even called me today in the end an explicit heretic.
Oh yeah, no, I think you were telling me that they called both of us, or said that they wish both of us to go to hell at one point.
Well, Nicholas made a great thing about that, because I maybe read it rather superficially what he did write in the email. I can read it to you. But then Nicholas then said that Smokey is wishing that I'm not going to hell.
No, I've heard him say much worse.
He sounded so sweet when he was talking, I was like, he is wishing my best, he loves me. I mean, it was precious,
Well, so
it was precious.
From listening from my wife teaching me about these behavioral sciences, that's a textbook behavior as well. The layman's term is that there's in abusive relationships, it's called the cycle of abuse. They have what's called a push-pull phase or cycle, where they'll abuse you, they'll hate you, they'll call you all kinds of horrible names. That's the push phase. They're pushing you away. And then once you're beaten down enough, or especially if you start to threaten to leave the relationship, then they switch and they go into a pull phase. They start being nice to you. They do everything that you wish that they would do when they're not pushing you away, to try to keep you in just enough. And then once you're back, and whatever, you're back in their range again, they'll do another push. And it's just push, pull, push, pull, push, pull.
Yeah.
In this case, I think that he would continue, and probably is still very much in what you just described as a push phase, but it serves his agenda to pretend to be kind for now, and for the sake of his audience, and for the sake of course, bringing in more negative advocates. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that he's actually trying to pull Otangelo in this case. I think that it's just being nice to serve a purpose that benefits him.
Try to save some face against
that may be part of it, but I think it's more that he wants to look like the good guy, so he's going to, he's going to pretend that he is, and that's to make him look good, of course, so they can gain more negative advocates.
And just hope that everybody that's listening forgets about all the hateful, vile, just vitriol.
Well, in their mind, that's the problem with abusive people, is that they don't even know what they've done, because
right,
they're not thinking about what they're doing in the moment to begin with. It's a total, complete lack of self-control. So that doesn't even show up on their radar at all. It's like it may as well have never happened. And that's why you notice abusive people will be like, well, what's your problem? That was 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Why are you angry still? That's why you see that behavior come into play too.
Yeah.
And if you guys have more questions about any of that, please, I'd love for her to have a channel to educate.
You know me. I don't I don't like to contribute very often.
Mm-hmm. That's why I really appreciate when you do. Try to pull you out of your shell.
Well, it's
so much knowledge you could share with the world.
Well, I do, but I like to do it more on a case by case basis rather
Sure.
than actually pulling out YouTube videos and going into detail.
Right. Well, that's just because you're professional.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk more about that? She's the expert.
Morbid narcissism kind of comes into my mind when I think about him.
Well, and it's interesting to know more about that particular personality disorder. It's actually part of a cluster of 4 different personality disorders that have awful lot of overlap. It's under Axis 2 Cluster B, and that section is narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, and borderline personality disorder. So if you're interested in really digging deep into those, you'll probably see quite a large number of overlapping traits. You could basically look at all 4 of those and be like, oh, that's him. Oh, that's him. Oh, that's him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though, one disorder may stand out far more prominently than the others, they certainly do carry traits, very similar traits between the 4.
Oh, all those you mentioned, I've recognized in people like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I found here the response from Smokey. He says here, you are obsessed with whether or not the atheists love you. You probably belong in the fire with them.
There you go. He's wishing you'd be in hell.
Yeah,
cursing.
That's what they exposed, and then Nicholas turned it around and said that I was lying about what Smokey actually said, and I should repent because I lied about what he said.
Oh, goodness.
Well, thankfully you've got the evidence.
Sycophant.
Earlier today, as a matter of fact, I thought about taking some of the streams, not from Smokey streams, but because I was sharing this one, taking in private emails as well. Even John Maddox, he spent almost 4 hours one night recently, last week, on Praise's channel with Nicholas and I, and got Nicholas to repeat it. It seemed at least a dozen times or more.
Well, he asked each of you multiple times, probably 5 or 6 times throughout that stream, specific pointed questions about their faith. Do you believe that Jesus, died and rose again from the dead for our sins, blah, blah, over and over and over and over again. And he kept saying, see, you guys believe the same things. What you're arguing about is irrelevant. Whether or not, whatever Einstein believed in a quote back in the 1930s doesn't matter. What you guys, agree on doctrinally is what matters.
Right.
But
I think that Nicholas, I really don't know. I mean, it is difficult to explain what goes through his mind. He thinks that he's the righteous one. I mean, he took me really out of seriousness yesterday. He made very vile accusations against me. Mm-hmm. Very, very, I think, I've never seen it before. And he thinks that's love. He thinks that is to behave Christian, like to help people not to go to hell. And he actually said, I am in darkness. I am exposing darkness, And
where did he glean this great knowledge about you? Angelo, where did he glean this great knowledge about you that he can, pass it on to you like it's truth?
Yeah. I mean, it's really...
I mean, who are they?
It's flabbergasting, It's incredible what they've just doubled down at each round and deeper and deeper and deeper and not stopped. They have lost any parameter. And if you watch the first part of the script, it's totally hilarious.
Yeah, I think that what you're describing, that kind of behavior, I think, and Kelly, I probably could go expand it in detail. That fits one or more of those 4 traits in the cluster B category. And then I was also thinking how, so Nicholas has been trying to paint the idea that I'm a Gnostic believer. And I think that's actually what, because, I've tried to study these things myself, for several years just to know. 'Cause I love knowing things. I would love to try to know things. So Gnostics were like that. Gnostics were they believed that they and they alone had secret knowledge about the Lord, about Scripture. They would write their own scriptures. They would ignore the common church letters and stuff from Paul and Peter, the ones that like Paul, for example, saying that even though I could speak with the language of angels, if I'm not doing it in love, it's like just a clanging friggin' cymbal, you know. So they're ignoring all of that, but they have secret knowledge that the Lord really wants them to be hateful and be the exact opposite of what Christ's own disciples preached. And if you don't agree with them, then you're a heretic. You're damned to hell. You're all these things. That's what the Gnostics actually did. So I think Nicholas is empirically, and it's not an insult. I'm not trying to bag on him like he does me. I think that is an empirical, reviewable example of what Gnostics are in the modern day.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make a psychoanalysis about him and neither about his theology. It doesn't interest me. I only know that I tried to expose to everyone that what is going on there is not Christ-like. That was my goal. If I reached it or not, I don't know.
I think you succeeded. You succeeded with me.
Let me interject real quick before I forget my train of thought. And also, while we're still hot on the topic, I'm not trying to psychoanalyze anybody specifically either. Again, I've just studied these behaviors extensively. I certainly don't have a sheepskin or any kind of credential to be able to make any diagnosis. I'm just saying that this is these types of behaviors, generally speaking, obviously appear to fall under this particular set of traits, and that's it. There's no anything further. There's no specificity there. It's just it's like basically saying, okay, you start describing the ingredients of an apple pie. You know what I'm saying?
if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck. And the same thing, I like to also caveat that too. I'm not going to claim anybody's anything. I'm just saying my knowledge of what Gnostics are match what they're doing, and I would love for them to prove otherwise.
Well, whatever. But I repeat, my decision tonight is that I will stop interacting totally at his channel. He asked me to leave him alone. That's what I will do from now on. And
so we all should do it.
And but that's what I recommended when it all started. I said, guys, stop interacting at his channel. Because that is the only way to deal with that situation. And of course, that is not going to happen. I mean, people will continue to be there and to participate and everything else. I mean, who are we to control what happens on other channels? But I mean,
no, but Christ is in charge. He's not going to get away with it. What you're doing and what you're recommending is perfect. And, you're doing your due diligence as a Christian. And as far as I'm concerned, your mission is complete.
Right. I think it's been complete for quite a long time.
Yep.
I've been trying to encourage Joel, just stay out of there. I mean, you've cast your pearls far and wide, and it's far more than
you said that very nicely now. You said the perfect parable in regards of that situation. We have cast our pearls to swine, literally, because that channel is a place where swine lurk literally in rotten and foul place. That's
right.
Yeah. Dirty, foul language, and it's amazing. They feel perfectly fine and happy in that environment, in that verbal abusive environment. They feel fine. And I couldn't get it and ask Nicholas, how are you not taking offense by that kind of language there? And it seems quite like he's having a mental block in regards of that. He simply thinks that's okay. The only thing that is not okay, that you are a huge danger because you're spreading Gnostic teachings. That's his big demon. That is the big enemy that he thinks has to be extinguished. It has to be fight against.
That's very cultish.
Well,
very
it
much
is
projection.
because I mean, what are God's two great commandments? Since Jesus came.
That's what I said. Even today, I did send him 4 or 5 versicles where I wrote about love.
That's
where
right.
I wrote about love, and they simply are blind. They are not getting it.
I posted a long list of my own verses about that on one of Smokey's channels in the comment section. Over a dozen verses over 2 weeks ago. It does nothing.
Yeah, it's deaf. It falls on deaf ears.
Yes, sir.
But I agree. I have taken that advice. I've stopped going to his channel. The only time that I fall into that human, backtrack, whatever you even call it. I've had other friends link me to his channel saying, "Hey Joel, they're attacking you again." I have had atheists. Nathan, he's an atheist, link me to his channel. Say, "Joel, they're doxing you. They're trying to read your resume online."
Now, Speed made it today too. Speed, he said, he did send me an email today.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what he wrote to me. Someone is writing me here. You. Let me check here. Speed sent me an email and he said, Smokey is ripping you guys apart just like I predicted months ago. Don't even give him the time of day and don't let his heretic bullshit bother you, Mike.
Yeah. So what that tells us is that there's atheists that are being more Christ-like and obeying Christ's, teaching.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They made a 3-hour review of my conversation with Smokey a few days ago, and they ripped him apart. You should see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I'll link in the description.
Yeah, sure. They ripped him literally apart. They were 100% of my side. 100% of my side.
If you want to share that on Tango, just make a post so I can find where you are to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I give you the link here.
Yeah, I'd
Just
love to see that.
I think I have to see you post something in the chat first before I can give you a wrench. I think. But yeah, so that's where we know things are getting off the hinge, and we should never give them that kind of ammunition. We should be just trying to talk about the Lord and helping the
and here is the link. I said to Smokey that the atheists, they are supporting me, they are on my side, and he said, well, you listen to those that call darkness light, so you should not do that.
Oh my goodness.
There is the link.
So see that in my mind. So we're all still human, whether we're Christ's adopted, servants or not. There's still a human.
Now the most incredible part, Joel. I don't know if you saw yesterday. Yesterday, David Neff, which is a declared atheist, was at the panel with Smokey criticizing Praise I Am, which it was a debate about the Trinity. And I thought, that's incredible. An atheist at his panel criticizing theology.
So maybe the Lord's using this after all, huh? However, indirectly.
I was going to say, maybe the Lord is answering our prayers, just not the way we want.
Amen.
So those that which are dwelling in darkness, how Nicholas said today, is on Smokey's panel criticizing heretics. Wow.
God has how do I use, because I know what I want to say, but how to put it into words. I apologize, I may butcher the crud out of this. Please read between the lines to understand my intention by saying this, and what I'm trying to say is that basically we're all made with essentially a universal moral code.
Yes.
Okay, every single one of us, whether we actively believe in God or whether we choose not to, all of us, we fundamentally know murder is wrong, stealing is wrong, bearing false witness against one another is wrong, that honoring your mother and father is right. Do you see where I'm going with this? We all know this. And so it doesn't surprise me in the slightest, even though it's heartwarming to see them actually take a stand. that they understand that this behavior is not Christ-like. They understand that instinctively because that's what God has hardwired into us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, yeah, the law of the Lord is written on our hearts.
Amen.
Yeah.
There's a human element, even, like that's being missed here.
Yep.
There were actually 2 streams. I will put the second one at.
Well, again, and Tango, just type something in the chat room, and I will make you
Yeah,
a mod.
just a moment. Just a moment.
No, I'm not. I waited to see the end game. No,
Sorry. I just took the second stream. I just put it here in the link. They made 2 streams, okay? And at the Rage, they made another stream about that, and also they were 100% on my side.
Wow. So the atheists are defending you, huh?
Yeah.
Just for being human.
Well, but that's really lovely too, because that shows that you all have enough of a positive presence in the community to where they can actually see the difference very, very clearly.
That was my goal, and I think it is very important that we have a feedback from them.
Well,
because
agreed. Go ahead.
Okay, here is another one. Open room, Otangelo against Smokey at the Rage. It was also almost 3 hours. That's the third link.
If you want to play something, if you think there's a clip you've got that's pertinent, you can do that too.
Oh yes, I have a very specific sections. If you want to put them there for us to listen, I can give you the exact moments where there is good criticism.
All right.
You want me to play it, or you want to play it?
Yeah, you can. Just a moment.
So
Be right back.
All right.
That's when you know someone's friendly and comfortable with you.
That's right.
They share your TMI.
Let me check here.
I still need to explore all the.
Oh, it'll take some minutes, please.
You're fine. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think I'm a little more extroverted than you. But, well, no. You're the one playing these giant bands and festivals.
But I don't talk.
So? Yeah, you do.
Okay, I got it.
Talk about music and your emotes and
I
stuff.
still say something.
You still interact with people.
Yeah, with nonverbal.
Yeah?
Mostly nonverbal.
Okay. Well, I just crave trying to talk and learn from good
There's
people.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about you being more extroverted than me. Nothing at all. How much do I have now? Let's see.
We're having an introvert contest. It's cute.
Okay, you can put it on the screen.
Did you add the audio?
Yeah, put it here.
I would say most people are better than Smokey, even when they're not trying to be. Not much pavement, but it's, like I said, it's an incredibly low bar. Yeah, but holy crap! I mean, I don't know if Otangelo is trying to stay on Smokey's wish list, but yeah, that is not a good way to do it.
I like it because which I also accused Smokey of some time ago, which is I thought it was just role playing. I don't think he's genuine. I really don't. I think he's been indoctrinated quite hard into the faith, and that's why he seems to rely on his knowledge. And he's come online and found a little niche for himself, and it's role playing basically.
It's at 1:40. Just
stupid more energy. He might enjoy.
That's one, like, this is another little trick that he's doing here. And secondly, I love what Angelo's doing here. He's letting Smokey hang himself. Right? Coming out with all of these fallacies and misunderstandings of what's actually being said to him. Like, I'm totally useless. I'll never bring anybody to them. No. He's saying your method of trying to bring people to God is ineffective. That doesn't mean nobody's ever going to be converted. Yeah, there might be some asshole out there that sees this and goes, yeah, I want to be just like Smokey. But how many? How many? Right? And is that biblical? Is that really what Paul says is the way to bring men to the heart of the gospel? No, it's not. Of course it's not.
All I can say is that if Smokey is trying to be a good influence in this community, it's not working.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he has a negative influence.
And if that's the best magic trick he's got, I think I can hire a few people that can do a little bit better. Just a little.
And I think we could go a little bit further than that as well. We could say, well, those that he surrounds himself with often are also such bad influences on the community. He's really harming atheists, he's really harming theism online. And he just proves this is it. If you want to be a theist apologist online, you better have your shit together because it's going to be tested.
But the thing is, too, though, right? I do want to extend this to more than just theists because I do see it happen in certain atheists.
Calling them a name is not the way to do it. So again, he's just missing the point by deflecting and going, well, this person really is a bad person. So why shouldn't I call them a name? Completely misses the point.
Yeah.
And it's just a deflection, of course, which is all he's been doing now for the last study.
Yeah, of course.
Woman that feels no shame for being disgusting, all that talk about meeting the Messiah. What does she give a crap? She doesn't feel bad about anything she does.
Tell someone the truth. The last way they're going to accept it is by calling them names. Right? So his own argument falls on the fact that he's trying to tell someone the truth, but at the same time he feels calling them the names is the truth. I mean, that's just ridiculous. No, this woman cannot be a cow. Let's just put that out there, right? That is literally a false thing.
Dang.
That cannot be the case. You know, humans are not cows. Right? Even your God told you, right, that the animals were made on a different day.
Well, he also just called Angelo a cockroach.
A cockroach, there you go. No, literally, that is false. Right? That cannot be the truth.
I'm so sorry, Angelo.
Love, right? If
Heartbreaking,
you're not speaking
Angelo.
the truth, if you're not speaking the truth, that's Angelo's fucking point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So no, quite literally, he is wrong again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thanks for
I
sharing.
think atheists, they are expressing in that situation the status quo and the situation in a very, very clear manner, independently if they are atheists or not.
Agreed. Yeah, I was thinking though too that if they're going to take my video here, of course, and they're going to probably play that back and say, look, Antingelo is siding with the atheist. And I was just thinking, I don't know if the Lord was reminding me or not, but Jesus did the same thing. He talked to that Samaritan woman at the well. He talked to that quote unquote atheist, that Jewish heretic lady, and he told her the truth. And she was like, wow. And she went back to her village and went to the other quote unquote atheist and said, come listen to this man that was just gracious to me. Yeah. And I think this, you're not the Lord in Tingalo, but you're reflecting the Lord in that example.
That was my concern.
Well,
that was my concern.
I think that's what the Lord may be doing, though. He's showing how if we're obedient to what He's asked us to do as His followers, He will set these things right. He will cause even the unbelievers, the tax collectors and the Pharisees or whatever, He'll cause them to realize, hey, look, no, that's who Christ really is. Look at Christ's genuine followers, and maybe through this they'll turn to the Lord.
That is my wish, Joel. It's not only about what we say, but we need to live what we say. Otherwise, what we say is just empty words.
If you truly receive the Holy Spirit, you will do your darndest to be that way.
Yes, sir.
And look, this is the last message which Speed sent me today. Wow, he is amazingly angry fella. That about Smokey. He did no damage to me at all and will not damage you. Your community needs to ignore him. I have been trying to do that myself, but he just keeps grabbing my partner's attention. He is a joke. You are not. In spite of how hard I am on you in public, you are the best of Otangelo.
No, that
that's
was
good.
really kind of him.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And I agree. Kiantango, you are the best of the best on YouTube.
Yeah.
No
You
offense to
certainly do reflect the nature, good nature.
Praise and Nephilim and those other guys. A lot of those guys are awesome too, but you are.
I mean, if you hear that from an atheist, I take this as a great honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
This is what we want. We want to reach out to them. We want to show them that Christ in our life makes a difference, and that we have a renewed spirit and a renewed heart, and we need that they feel attracted to us. It's not only the message that we bring, but also how we live, how we behave. Christ's love must shine through to them.
Yes, sir.
You guys can't hear that, by the way. Can you a low rumble in the background?
That'd be too faint on their end.
I don't know if the mic picks it up or not. Y'all hear it? I can't stretch the mic out to reach out the door, but that's a SpaceX rocket test going on right now, shaking the whole house a little bit. It's about
I think I can hear
10
it.
miles away. I love it. Oh, I love this place. Sorry. Ugh. But yes, sir.
Okay, guys, sorry, I have to leave for a few minutes. My daughter wants me to show the Christmas tree, which we bought today. So, okay.
Appreciate you coming, sir. Thank you so much. And I pray the Lord encourages you as well as you encourage us. And
God bless you, Angelo.
Yeah. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe not. Let's see. See you later eventually.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh no! Look.
I've poked the atheist bear a few times on purpose. Yep. But the dad joke. Did I dare read this? Hold on. My wife said, "You really have no sense of direction, do you?" I said, "Where did that come from?" It's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Dad jokes. If I ran NASA, it would be mandatory for the ground crew to dress as apes when the space shuttle lands. Oh, what's up?
I'm gonna have to book, brother, because I gotta go make dinner.
Very good. I had no idea
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'll be back for sure.
Really enjoyed you being here as well, man. I don't know how much longer. I'll see if somebody else wants to join or not, but you are welcome anytime. I give you moderator status as well, but please come back. Don't be a stranger. I'd love to talk with you more, especially about just science stuff. I'm sure you've got a wealth of things to share on a technology level.
I'll be back because I go where the good Christians are.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, and good luck.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I did. I tagged the StreamYard link at the top of the chat. If there's anybody else here who wants to continue to talk for a little bit longer. Yep. I've heard that term before as well, Angel, poking the bear. But I don't know. It's a struggle trying to fight against, I guess the normal human instincts to want to lash back out versus just wanting to do what the Lord asks us to do. And it's not just to love everybody as ourselves, but to even to love our enemies. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what else we can do. I'm very thankful to the Lord that there are plenty of people that quote unquote get it. Just need to latch on to those that love the Lord and that love all those that He wants to turn towards Him. Because He does. God sent His Son so that nobody would perish, all would be saved. So we'll all have eternal life with Him. You have anything you want to talk about? The Joel team, as Doki calls us?
Sorry.
No?
No, not right now, honey. I've talked about what I needed to say.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Well, I keep trying to think of some good science technology type topics. Nothing's coming to mind right now. There's a couple of launches last week. There was supposed to be a launch recently that I heard about this week, but I have not followed up with it. I've been so busy with the new job and things. And oh gosh, what's a good topic? Somebody give me a good topic. Yeah, should end the stream.
For now.
Well, anybody in chat, if you guys have a question or whether it's about science or technology or anything, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, I guess I can go ahead and close for now, and we'll find another fun thing to do, huh?
Thank you for joining
Oh,
the
yeah.
first stream.
Yep. It's been about a couple hours now. Good first stream.
Yep.
And I'm sure I'll think of something here later. But and I might start another stream later today just to kind of share whatever is worth sharing and encourage everybody in the Lord. But probably should have done this a lot sooner. I don't know. I would love to see everybody united, all the Christians that are trying to do these things on YouTube for the Lord and all our different varying capacities. Smokey has had some, I haven't really listened to him, but apparently he's got some really good debate skills. He's done some tag team debates I've heard of, and I would love to see that be used towards trying to win people for Christ instead of trying to, not. So, or try to, attack those that he actually agrees with more than he realizes, I suppose, is a better way to put it. So, here's to the Lord doing everything in his own good timing. So, but again, all right. I appreciate you guys. If there's nothing else y'all want to talk about or ask questions about, I will ask you guys to have a great day. And I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you.